There is a power that no one can see, yet it shapes the rise and fall of every man and woman who's ever dared to dream. It's not money. It's not fame. It's not even time. It is belief. What you believe about yourself, about the world, about what is possible, becomes the script your life follows, word for word, step for step, not by accident, not by coincidence, but by law, because belief is not passive, it's not soft, it is the architect of reality. It bends perception, it alters decisions, and it carves out destiny like a sculptor chiseling marble. And here's the truth, most people never dare whisper. What you believe, you become. No exceptions. If you believe the world is against you, you'll find proof in every failure. If you believe you were born for greatness, you'll seek challenge like fire seeks oxygen. And if you believe you are not enough, that belief alone will steal every victory you ever had the potential to earn. Your belief is the lens, and through it, you either shrink or rise. You either hesitate or act. You either survive or transcend. But belief is not inherited. It's not gifted. It's not dropped into your lap by fate. It's built, crafted, forged in the fire of your thoughts, sharpened by repetition, and etched into your nervous system by your own will. Every titan you've ever admired, every legend you've studied, every story that gave you chills, they all began with belief. Before Edison gave light to the world, he believed he could. Before Carnegie built an empire from steel, he believed wealth could be created from vision. They weren't handed certainty. They made it. They weren't promised success. They summoned it. You want to change your life? Start by changing the one thing that controls it all, the beliefs you allow to live in your mind. Because here's what no school taught you. The world does not respond to who you are. It responds to who you believe you are. A timid belief will make you play small in rooms built for giants. A powerful belief will let you walk into chaos and command peace. But belief alone is not enough. It must be fused with clarity, because a powerful belief with no direction is like a jet with no destination, fast, loud, and utterly lost. So get clear, not vague, not dreamy, not someday. What do you want? Who must you become to get it? And what lies are still living rent-free in your mind, convincing you that you can't? Clarity cuts through chaos. It reveals the path where others see fog. It doesn't care about where you've been. It only wants to know where you're going. Burn the excuses, silence the noise, and write it down like your future depends on it, because it does. You cannot hit a target you refuse to name. This is where most people get it wrong. They believe change starts with action, but action without clarity is wasted motion. It's sprinting in circles and calling it growth. The true transformation begins when belief meets purpose. When belief says, I am capable, and purpose answers, here is where you're needed. Purpose is the engine, belief is the ignition. And once those two lock together, nothing, not fear, not failure, not circumstance, can stop the human spirit from rising. But don't confuse purpose with comfort. Purpose is not always safe. It will ask more of you than you think you can give. It will tear through your illusions. It will demand sacrifice, solitude, sweat, and sometimes suffering. But it will also give you the only thing worth living for, a reason. And once a person finds their reason, their why, the how begins to take care of itself. Think of Mandela in a prison cell, believing in freedom more fiercely than his captors believed in chains. Think of Helen Keller, born without sight or sound, yet believing in a world worth touching, worth speaking to, worth knowing. These people were not anomalies. They were mirrors, showing you what's possible when belief becomes unshakable and purpose becomes personal. And now comes the discipline, because belief is the start, purpose is the engine, but discipline is the bridge. You don't become by wishing. You become by doing. You become by waking up when the world is sleeping. You become by staying committed when no one is watching. You become by making deposits into your future while others are cashing out on comfort. Discipline is self-respect in motion. It's not a punishment, it's a promise that says, I will not betray the vision I've seen in my highest moments. It's the athlete in the dark gym after midnight. It's the writer who puts pen to paper even when the muse is silent. It's the entrepreneur making the 100th call after 99 hang-ups. And it's not glamorous, but it's sacred. Because when belief meets discipline, something unstoppable is born. So if you're tired of watching others rise while you stand still, don't look outward, look inward. Ask yourself, do I truly believe? Have I committed or just dabbled? Am I building or just dreaming? Because the truth is brutal and beautiful. You already are what you believe you are. And if you don't like the answer, then now is the time to change the belief, not just the behavior. And once you shift the belief, everything else begins to bend. Your habits bend, your language bends, your body, your energy, your presence in the world. It all begins to orbit around the new truth you've decided to carry. But the moment you change your belief, the world will test you. Make no mistake, the universe does not hand over transformation for free. It asks you to prove that you're serious. It will throw storms your way. It will whisper old doubts in new disguises. It will offer you distractions dressed as opportunities, temptations disguised as safety. And that's where most fall, not because they're weak, but because they forgot that belief must be defended. Belief is not a one-time choice. It is a daily war, a war between the future you are building and the old identity screaming to survive. But you're not here to repeat patterns, you're here to rise. That's why clarity matters. That's why purpose matters. That's why belief must not just live in your mind, but in your bones. You can't fake it. You must feel it, because only belief that's felt can fuel action when motivation disappears. And it will disappear. Motivation is a spark, but belief is the firewood. Belief is what stays when the applause stops, when the results delay, when the setbacks arrive. Ask any great builder, any champion, any creator. They will tell you. The journey is long, the path is lonely, and the progress at times feels invisible. But the invisible is where belief does its best work. Think about the seed beneath the soil. No one sees its growth. No one applauds its effort, but it believes. It believes that the sun exists, even in the dark. That belief cracks open the shell. That belief pushes roots into the unknown. That belief makes room for something greater. And so must you. You must act before you see the reward. You must speak before the voice is steady. You must invest in yourself before anyone else does. Because belief is not reactive. It is creative. It doesn't wait for proof. It makes proof. It doesn't ask for permission. It writes its own invitation. It doesn't negotiate with fear. It transforms it into fuel, and fear will come. If you're not scared, you're not growing. If you're not stretched, you're not evolving. But fear isn't your enemy. Fear is the compass. It points you to the edge of who you've been and the entrance to who you can become. So don't run from it. Don't numb it. Don't fight it. Stand in it. Breathe in it. Let it teach you. Let it sharpen you. Let it remind you that every giant once shook at the knees, and then move anyway. Move with trembling hands if you must. Move with a pounding heart, with doubt on your back and uncertainty in your chest, but move. Because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is belief in motion. And once you move, something sacred begins to happen. Momentum. Momentum doesn't start big. It starts with one act. One small win, one tough conversation, one early morning, one rejection faced with dignity, and as momentum builds, so does identity. That's the secret most people never learn. You don't wait to become confident. You act your way into confidence. You don't wait to be ready. You train your belief until readiness becomes irrelevant, and that's when the world starts to respond. Not when you fake it, not when you follow trends, but when you finally become real, aligned, convicted, undeniable. People can feel it. Doors open, conversations change. The right opportunities begin to recognize your name because you're no longer the same person who once doubted. You've become, not by luck, not by accident, but by design. And as you rise, gratitude becomes your anchor, not a soft gratitude, not the kind that ignores pain and pretends everything's fine. No, this is the warrior's gratitude, the kind that sees the hardship, feels the bruises, remembers the nights you almost gave up, and still says, thank you. Thank you for the fire. Thank you for the resistance. Thank you for not making it easy, and because easy never made anyone great. Gratitude transforms scarcity into abundance. It multiplies whatever you touch, because the moment you're truly grateful, you're no longer desperate, you're powerful, you're connected, and connection to yourself, to life, to others, is the foundation of wealth, not just financial wealth, but emotional, spiritual, relational wealth. You become magnetic, not by force, but by frequency. Because when belief, clarity, purpose, discipline, and gratitude are aligned, you become a force no one can ignore, not even you. And at that level, adaptability becomes the final skill. Because belief without flexibility becomes dogma. Purpose without evolution becomes prison. And discipline without reflection becomes burnout. You must learn to shift without losing your core, to pivot without losing your principles, to move through life's seasons with awareness, knowing that change is not the enemy. Stagnation is. The river that flows survives. The tree that bends in the storm stands longest. Adaptability is not weakness. It is the genius of survival. And when rooted in belief, it becomes your superpower. So whether life brings storm or sunshine, you remain grounded, not because of what's around you, but because of what's within you. You are the mountain. You are the flame. You are the vision walking because you believed. And belief, my friend, is the beginning of every revolution. Now that you've awakened belief, now that the fire has started to rise in your gut, you must protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day the world will try to convince you to trade belief for doubt, to settle, to shrink, to forget. It'll offer you comfort over conviction, numbness over purpose, validation over vision. But you weren't born to blend in. You were born to blaze. This world was not moved by the cautious. It was not shaped by the agreeable. It was not transformed by the ones who said, maybe later. It was built by those who believed wildly, boldly, recklessly in something that didn't exist yet. Wright believed in flight. King believed in a dream. And now it's your turn No more waiting, no more rehearsing, no more negotiating with the lesser version of you. The world is not asking you to be perfect. It's begging you to be real, to be lit up, to be raw, to be fully alive. And aliveness is not found in a comfort zone. It's found at the edge where your fear meets your gift. That edge is your classroom, your forge, your proving ground, because belief without action is fantasy, and belief without embodiment is forgotten. You must walk like the person you claim to be, speak like them, decide like them, love like them, live like them, now, not someday. Someday is the graveyard of greatness. It's where dreams rot and talent dies. But you are not average. You are not here to watch. You are here to write, to build, to burn away the false self and emerge, clear, certain, unstoppable. And that version of you already exists, not in the future, but now buried under years of doubt, shame, delay, and imitation. But here's the truth. You don't need fixing. You need remembering. You need to remember who you were before the world told you to be realistic, before fear trained you to play safe, before you were taught to doubt your own light. You were born with a flame. You were born with a pulse of purpose that no one else carries, and belief is how you fan it. Every time you speak with intention, it grows. Every time you act despite fear, it ignites. Every time you rise after falling, it roars. Until one day you look back and realize you didn't just believe in your future, you became it. Not by waiting, not by hoping, but by choosing, moment by moment, thought by thought, step by step, to live like your belief was already true. And that choice, that sacred, relentless choice, becomes your legacy. Because belief is not just about you, it's about the lives you touch, the eyes you open, the hearts you awaken. Every time you show up in truth, you give others permission to do the same. You become a lighthouse, a rebel, a reminder that greatness isn't inherited, it's claimed. That potential isn't passive, it's practiced. That belief, when fused with action, can tear open the sky and make miracles feel ordinary. That's the kind of life you're here to live. Not soft, not shallow, but soul deep and fireborn. So stop pretending you're powerless. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop explaining yourself to people who stop believing in their own greatness. This life is not a rehearsal. It's the real thing, and it's happening now. You are the author. You are the voice. You are the storm. And what you believe, you become. No exceptions, no apologies, no delays. So ask yourself now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now. What will you believe from this moment forward? Will you believe you're too late? Or will you believe that everything in your life has led you here for a reason? Will you believe in the weight of your past or the power of your future? Will you believe the lies that were handed to you or the truth that was born in you? Because belief is the switch. And when you flip it on, truly flip it on, the world won't know what hit it. You'll walk differently, speak differently, breathe differently, not because you've become someone else, but because you finally stopped hiding who you really are. The greatest tragedy is not death. It's to live a life never touched by your own power, to die with your song unsung, to leave this world having never met the person you were meant to be. But you have a choice. Right now, in this breath, in this heartbeat, not tomorrow, not when you feel more ready, not after another podcast, another book, another reason to delay. Now, you can choose to become the voice you needed when you were younger. You can choose to become the protector of your dream, the guardian of your own becoming. But to do that, you must draw a line. You must say with every fiber of your soul, soul. I refuse to be ruled by fear any longer. You must divorce the part of you that clings to comfort. You must bury the version of yourself that lives on approval, that begs for permission, that settles, because the real you, the one that believes, that builds, that breathes fire, is waiting for you to finally take off the mask, to stop dimming your light, to stop shrinking to fit into places you were meant to outgrow. You are not here to fit in. You are here to rise, to rupture, to revolutionize. You are not here to replicate someone else's path. You are here to carve your own through stone, through silence, through resistance. And no, it won't be easy. But nothing sacred is. Your dream is sacred. Your belief is sacred. Your potential is sacred. So don't give it away for cheap. Don't trade it for fleeting applause. Don't abandon it because of a few dark nights or 1,000 voices who never had the courage to follow their own. You were chosen to walk this fire, chosen to speak this truth, chosen to believe in a vision so bold it makes mediocrity tremble. And that belief, when lived fully, becomes more than a mindset. It becomes a movement, one that wakes the world up, one that silences doubt, not through argument, but through embodiment, one that makes even your enemies respect your certainty, because there is nothing more powerful than a human being who knows who they are and lives like it. So remember this. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your failures, your labels, your fears, or your delay. You are possibility, dressed in skin and breath and bone, and you become whatever you dare to believe. So believe in the fire, believe in the mission, believe in the rise, believe in the unreasonable, the invisible, the impossible, because that's what belief does. It makes the impossible bend. And when the day comes, and it will, when the world looks at you and says, "How did you do it? How did you become this? How did you rise from nothing, from pain, from silence, into this?" You'll smile, you'll breathe, you'll speak the truth most never grasp. I believed. And that made all the difference, because what you believe, you become. No exceptions, no limits, no regrets, just power, just purpose, just legacy. Now go become it.